Kei Nishikori is a Japanese professional tennis player, currently ranked world No. 6 by the Association of Tennis Professionals. He is the only male Japanese tennis player ever to be ranked inside the top 10 in ATP Singles Ranking. He has won 11 singles titles and was runner-up at the 2014 US Open, making him the first ever male player from an Asian country to reach a Grand Slam singles final. He also became the first man from Asia to qualify for the ATP World Tour Finals and reached the semi-finals in 2014. He first reached his career-high singles ranking of world No. 4 in March 2015. Personal life. Nishikori was born in Matsue in Shiman Prefecture, Japan. His father, Kiyoshi, is an engineer, and his mother, Eri, is a piano teacher. He has an older sister, Reina, who graduated from college and works in Tokyo. He began playing tennis at the age of 5. He first won the All Japan Tennis Championships for kids in 2001, and graduated from Aomori Yamada High School. Nishikori moved to Florida to join the IMG Academy in 2004 at 14 years of age. His pastimes include football, golf, reading, and listening to music. In December 2010 it was announced that Nishikori would be coached by Brad Gilbert for the 2011 season and by Dante Bottini from the IMG Academy. Gilbert also has coached Andy Murray and former world No. 1 Andre Agassi and Andy Roddick. Nishikori has been coached by former world No. 2 Michael Chang since January 2014. Career. Junior career. Nishikori won the 2004 title at the Riyadh 21 tournament in Rabat, Morocco, and was a quarter-finalist at the 2006 Junior French Open. He partnered with Emiliano Massa to win the 2006 Junior French Open. Nishikori won the 2007 Luxillan Cup held at the 2007 Sony Ericsson Open by defeating Michael McClune. As a junior, he compiled a 73-37 win-loss record in singles, achieving a combined ranking of No. 7 in the world in July 2006. Nishikori qualified and won the title at the ITF Futures event in Mazatlan, Mexico. He began the year by receiving a wild card to the Kyoto Challenger in Kyoto, Japan. A finalist in 2 USDA Pro Circuit events, Nishikori lost to Donald Young in Little Rock, Arkansas and Alex Bogomolov Jr. in Carson, California. He partnered with Donald Young to win the doubles title at Little Rock. He paired with triple French Open champion Gustavo Coutin at the Sony Ericsson Open in Miami, where they lost in the first round. Nishikori served as a hitting partner for Roger Federer at Wimbledon. After his ATP main draw debut in Los Angeles, he qualified for the Indianapolis Tennis Championships in July 2007. He beat Alejandro Falla in the first round to record his first ATP main draw win. He followed that up with a 3-set win over Michael Berra, the eliminator of 7th seed Robbie Ginapri, to advance to his first ATP quarterfinal. He lost to Dmitry Tursunov, but Nishikori became the youngest player to reach the quarterfinals at Indianapolis since Boris Becker, who went on to reach the semi-finals in 1985. In his third career ATP event, Nishikori defeated Timur Asgharbashvili in the first round in Washington, D.C., before falling to Julian Benneteau in the second. He qualified for the ATP event in Beijing and lost in the first round to Ivan Lubasic. Nishikori received a wild card to the ATP event in Tokyo, Japan, where he lost in the first round to Zach Fleischmann. He participated in the draw ceremony in Tokyo and received the Tokyo Sports Writers Club Award. Nishikori represented Japan at the Asian Hopman Cup 2007 in Bangkok, Thailand. 2008 first ATP title. Nishikori started the year by reaching the semi-finals of the Miami Challenger tournament. He then entered the Delray Beach tournament as a qualifier ranked world No. 244. He gained entrance to the main draw by defeating Nicolas Todero and Alex Bogomolov Jr. In the first round, he defeated Florian Mayer due to a retirement in the second set. In the second round, Nishikori defeated Amir Diliff, another qualifier. In the quarter-finals, he won against Bobby Reynolds. In the semi-finals, he upset Sam Querrey. In the final, Nishikori upset top seed James Blake in 3 sets to become the first Japanese man in nearly 16 years to win an ATP event. Nishikori lost in the first round of the Miami Masters to the Spanish player Albert Montanez. He faced James Blake again, this time at the River Oaks International Tournament in Houston, Texas in the first round, but Kei lost in 2 sets. He went out in the third round of the 2008 Queen's Club Championships against Rafael Nadal in just over 2 hours. Facing the world No. 2, Nishikori played well in the match and showed promise. His first Grand Slam appearance at the 2008 Wimbledon Championships on the 23rd of June 2008 ended in a first-round forfeiture to French player Marc Gasquet. Suffering from an abdominal muscle strain, Nishikori retired after the second set. In August, he entered the Beijing Olympics on a wild card. There, he lost in the first round to Rainer Schuttler of Germany. Nishikori made his debut at the US Open, defeating 29th-seeded Juan Monaco in the first round. He crossed to the third round after downing Croatian Roko Karanjusic. On the 30th of August 2008, he became the first Japanese player to reach the round of 16 at the US Open in 71 years, when he beat 4th seed David Ferrer in 5 sets in what was considered one of the tournament's major upsets. He lost his chance, however, to compete in the quarterfinals when he was beaten by 17th seed Juan Martín del Potro in straight sets. In the Japan Open Tennis Championships, he made it to the round of 16, before losing to Frenchman Richard Gasquet. Nishikori was given a wild card for the Stockholm Open, where he made it to his second ATP-level semi-final of the year. Despite playing with a knee injury, he received a walkover in his quarter-final match against Mario Ancic, who had to withdraw due to illness. In the semi-finals, he was beaten by 4th seed Robin Soetling. 2009 disappointing injury season. Nishikori made a disappointing start to the season, losing to Jürgen Melzer in the first round of the Australian Open. On the 25th of March, Nishikori was named 2008 ATP Newcomer of the Year and became the first Asian player to win the award. He withdrew from the French Open, Wimbledon, and the US Open because of an injured right elbow. Kei made his comeback after his injury of the previous year. After receiving a wild card at Delray Beach, he was beaten in the first round by Benjamin Becker. Kei returned to the Challenger Tour later in April with great success, reaching quarterfinals at both Baton Rouge and Tallahassee events, followed by a victory at the Savannah Challenger over Ryan Sweeting in the final. On the 15th of May 2010, he won the Sarasota Open by defeating Brian Dabule in 3 sets. Nishikori played in his first French Open. He rebounded from 2 sets down to defeat Santiago Giraldo of Colombia in the first round, but he lost his second match against Novak Djokovic. He lost to Richard Gasquet in the first round of the 2010 Egon Championships. At Wimbledon, he played second seed Rafael Nadal in the first round and lost in straight sets. At the US Open, the Japanese number 1 met Marin Cilic in the second round. Nishikori ousted the 11th seed in 5 sets to advance to the third round, his best Grand Slam tournament showing in 2010. 2011 Nishikori opened the season in Chennai, where he upset two-time defending champion Marin Cilic in the first round, before falling in the quarterfinals to Janko Tipsarevic. In the 2011 Australian Open, Nishikori reached the third round, defeating Fabio Fognini and Florian Mayer along the way. His run was ended in the third round by 9th seed Fernando Verdasco. After the third round appearance in Melbourne, his ranking rose to No. 70. At the first 2 ATP Masters Series events of the year, Nishikori suffered a first-round loss at Indian Wells and a second-round loss in Miami. Nishikori then reached his second final at the 2011 U.S. Men's Clay Court Championships. He was defeated by American wildcard Ryan Sweeting. At Roland Garros, Nishikori lost in the second round to Sergei Stakowski. He faced Leighton Hewitt in the first round at Wimbledon, but lost in 4 sets. Nishikori then retired in his first round match against Flavio Cipolla at the U.S. Open. At the Shanghai Masters, Nishikori reached his first Masters 1000 semi-final. He defeated Robin Haas, 4th seed Wilfried Tsonga, and Santiago Giraldo in the first 3 rounds. In the quarterfinals, Nishikori upset 12th seeded Alexander Dolgopolov in straight sets. He lost to No. 2 Andy Murray in his first Masters 1000 semi-final. He reached a career high of world number 30, breaking the previous Japanese mark of No. 46, set by Shuzo Matsuoka in July 1992. In the Swiss indoors Basel tournament, Nishikori defeated ailing world No. 1 Novak Djokovic to reach the final, coming back from a 4-5, 0-30 deficit in the second set. The win was only Djokovic's 4th loss of the season, 2nd loss in a completed match, and 1st loss of a completed match on a non-clay surface. Nishikori was defeated in the final by Roger Federer. On the heels of the victory, Nishikori was granted special exemption into 2011 BNP Paribas Masters and achieved a ranking of world No. 24. 2012 first major quarterfinal and second ATP title. Nishikori started the season at the Brisbane International, where he lost in the second round to Marcos Bagnatis. At the 2012 Australian Open, Nishikori came back from a set down to defeat 6th seed Wilfried Tsonga to reach the quarterfinals of the Australian Open, where he was then defeated by 4th seed Andy Murray. Nishikori was the first Japanese male player to reach the quarterfinals of the Australian Open in 80 years. Nishikori made it to the quarterfinals of the Hall of Fame Tennis Championships after beating Belgian Olivier Rochus in 3 sets. In the Summer Olympics, Nishikori lost to Argentina's Juan Martín del Potro in the quarterfinals. In Toronto, he lost his first match to Sam Querrey. He did better in Cincinnati, making it to the third round before being defeated by Stanislav Wawrinka, who ended up a semi-finalist in the event. Nishikori had also lost to Wawrinka in the quarterfinals in Buenos Aires in February. On the 7th of October, 8th seed Nishikori won the Rakuten Japan Open in Tokyo against 6th seed Milos Raonic of Canada in 3 sets to win his first ATP 500 Series title and second career ATP Tour title, lifting his world ranking from world No. 17 to a career high of world No. 15. Nishikori's win was historic as he became the first Japanese man to win the Japan Open in its 41-year history. 2013 third ATP title. Nishikori started the year by playing the Brisbane International and reached the semi-finals before retiring to Andy Murray because of a knee injury. Nishikori then reached the fourth round of the Australian Open before falling to fourth-seeded David Ferrer. Nishikori was bothered by a nagging knee injury throughout the match. Nishikori then won his third career title in the U.S. National Indoor Championships by defeating Feliciano Lopez in straight sets. Seeded fifth, Nishikori finished the tournament without dropping a set in taking the winner's check, and moved up 6 ranking spots from No. 22 in the ATP rankings to No. 16. On the 9th of May, Nishikori defeated defending champion Roger Federer at the Madrid Open in the third round, but lost to Pablo Andújar in the quarters. In 2013 US Open first round, Nishikori lost to a lower-ranked opponent, this time to world No. 179 Daniel Evans in straight sets. 2014 Top 5 ranking, Major and Masters runners-up Michael Chang became Kei Nishikori's coach in 2014. Nishikori made it to the fourth round in the Australian Open, but was dismissed by Rafael Nadal in straight sets without much trouble. He defended his title at the U.S. National Indoor Tennis Championships in Memphis, defeating Ivo Karlovic in the final. He then played at the Masters 1000 event in Miami, where he was seeded 20th. Nishikori saved 4 match points before defeating 4th seed David Ferrer and advanced to the semi-finals with a 3-set win against 5th seed Roger Federer. Because of a left groin injury, he gave 2nd seed Novak Djokovic a walkover in the semi-finals. He withdrew from Japan's Davis Cup quarter-final against the Czech Republic. Nishikori returned to action at the end of April in Barcelona, winning the final against Santiago Giraldo of Colombia in 2 sets. On the 10th of May, Nishikori made history by reaching the final of Madrid Open, his first Masters 1000 tournament final. Nishikori beat David Ferrer in 3 sets in the semi-final, and faced world No. 1 and defending champion Rafael Nadal in the final. Nishikori won the first set and led by a break in the second, but Nadal hit back to level the match before Nishikori was forced to retire in the third set due to a back injury. The result saw him achieve a career-high number 9 in ATP Singles Ranking. Nishikori lost in the first round of the French Open to Martin Klizan in 3 sets. Nishikori bounced back from the French Open first round loss in the grass court season by reaching the semi-finals of the 2014 Jerry Weber Open, before losing to Roger Federer in straight sets. Nishikori participated in the Wimbledon Championships and made it to the fourth round after surviving a tight 5-setter against little-known clay court specialist Simone Bolelli, but eventually lost in the fourth round to Milos Raonic, despite winning the opening set. Nishikori opened his hard court season by participating in the City Open. He reached the quarterfinals only to be beaten by Richard Gasquet for the 5th time in his career in straight sets. Nishikori reached his first Grand Slam final at the 2014 US Open. He beat Wayne Odusnik, Pablo Andújar, Leonardo Mayer and then world No. 6 Milos Raonic in a marathon 5-set match that lasted until 2:30 a.m., a record late finish at the US Open en route to the quarterfinals. In the quarterfinals, he scored a rare upset over Australian Open champion Stan Wawrinka, who had thus far dominated the meetings to ensure that he would regain a top 10 ranking. He also became the first Japanese man in 81 years to reach the semi-finals at a major since Jiro Saito in 1933 French Championships. Nishikori then defeated world No. 1 Novak Djokovic in the semi-finals to become the first Asian man ever to reach a Grand Slam tournament final. In the final, Nishikori lost to Marin Cilic. The US Open moved Nishikori to a ranking of 8. Nishikori began the Asian swing by entering the Malaysian Open as first seed and won for a third season title, beating Julian Benneteau in 2 sets. Nishikori then went on to participate in the Rakuten Japan Open and won the title for the second time, defeating Milos Raonic in the final. However, he later suffered a first-round straight sets loss to Jack Sock in the Shanghai Rolex Masters. Nishikori then played in the BNP Paribas Masters and reached the semi-finals, defeating Tommy Robredo, Jo-Wilfried Tsonga and David Ferrer, each in 3 sets. However, he was ousted by Novak Djokovic in straight sets. This semi-final appearance guaranteed his berth for his ATP World Tour Finals debut. In his first year-end ATP Finals, Nishikori defeated Andy Murray and David Ferrer, but was defeated by Roger Federer in straight sets. With this result, he qualified into the semi-finals and faced Novak Djokovic, losing in 3 sets, thus ending the year at career high world No. 2015 career high ranking No. 4 and 8th, 9th, 10th ATP titles. Nishikori began the 2015 season by participating in the 2015 Brisbane International and reached the semi-finals before being beaten by Milos Raonic in 3 tight set tiebreaks. He reached the 2015 Brisbane International doubles finals with his partner Alexander Dolgopolov but lost in straight sets. Nishikori equalled his best record yet in the Australian Open by reaching the quarter-finals for the second time in his career, dropping only 2 sets along the way, but he was beaten in straight sets by defending champion Stan Wawrinka. In February, Nishikori won his 8th singles title and became the first ever player to win the Memphis Open 3 times in a row, beating Kevin Anderson Indiana straight sets in the final. He next participated in the 2015 Abierto Mexicano Telcel and reached the final, losing only a set to Kevin Anderson Indiana of the semi-finals. By reaching the final, he earned enough ATP ranking points to move into a new career high world ranking of No. 4. However, he lost to David Ferrer in straight sets in the final. During the March Masters, he reached the 4th round of the 2015 BNP Paribas Open for the first time in 7 appearances but was upset by Feliciano Lopez in straight sets in the 4th round. In the 2015 Miami Open, he defeated Mikhail Yuzhny, Viktor Troicki and David Goffin all in straight sets, losing only a total of 10 games to reach the quarter-finals. However, he was upset by an informed John Isner in straight sets. Nishikori began his clay court season at the 2015 Barcelona Open Banks Arbidel, where he reached the final after beating Timur Asgabashvili, Santiago Giraldo, Roberto Bautista Agut and Martin Klizan. He successfully defended his title by beating Pablo Andujar in the final in 2 sets to win his 9th career title on the tour. At the 2015 Mutua Madrid Open, Nishikori was granted a first-round bye and proceeded by defeating David Goffin in 3 tough sets in the second round. He reached the semi-finals after beating Roberto Bautista Agut and David Ferrer in straight sets respectively. He then lost to Andy Murray in the semi-finals and his ranking dropped to 6th as a result of failing to defend his points from the final in 2014. Nishikori was given a tough draw at the 2015 Italian Open but managed to reach the quarter-final after beating Jiri Vesely and Viktor Troicki, both in straight sets. He faced world number 1 Novak Djokovic in the QF and lost in 3 sets. Nishikori opened his French Open campaign by defeating both Paul-Henri Mathieu and Thomas Bellucci in straight sets to advance to the 3rd round. He advanced to the 4A for the second time in his career after his 3rd round opponent, Benjamin Becker, withdrew due to a right shoulder injury. Nishikori became the first Japanese man Japan to reach the quarter-finals of the French Open in 82 years by beating Timur Asgabashvili. He then played home favorite Jo-Wilfried Tsonga, but eventually lost in 5 sets. Nishikori opened his grass court season by participating in the Halle Open, where he reached the semi-finals, only to retire in his match against Andreas Seppi down 1-4 in the first set due to his calf injury, which he attained in his quarter-final match. Nishikori decided to play Wimbledon, and he reached the second round by beating Simone Bolelli in 5 sets for the second straight year, but then withdrew from his second-round match against Santiago Giraldo, due to his calf injury acting on him again during his first-round match. Nishikori opened his hard-court season by competing at the 2015 City Open, defeating James Duckworth, Leonardo Mayer, Sam Groth, and Marin Cilic en route to the final, where he beat John Isner in 3 tight sets to capture his 3rd title of the year and 10th title overall. At the 2015 Rogers Cup, he reached the semi-finals without losing a set and defeated Rafael Nadal for the first time in 8 tries in the quarter-finals. He lost to Andy Murray in the semi-finals in straight sets. He withdrew from the Cincinnati Masters citing fatigue and hip injury, which affected his semi-final match against Murray the previous week. He lost in the first round of the 2015 US Open to Benoit Paire. Nishikori started the Asian Full by participating in his hometown tournament, Rakuten Japan Open, where he reached the semi-finals, including victories over Borna Coric, Sam Querrey and Marin Cilic. He was upset in his semi-final match by unseeded Benoit Paire. He reached 3rd rounds of the Shanghai Rolex Masters before losing to Kevin Anderson. He then played in the BNP Paribas Masters. However, he retired in the 3rd round match against Richard Gasquet due to an abdominal injury. Nishikori qualified for the ATP World Tour Finals for the 2nd straight year in a row, clinching 8th place. He defeated Thomas Berdych but lost to Novak Djokovic and Roger Federer. He failed to qualify for the semi-finals, finishing in 3rd place in his group. 2016 second and third Masters runner-up, Olympics bronze medal. Nishikori began the season ranked No. 8. In January, he entered the Brisbane International as the No. 2 seed, where he advanced to the quarter-finals with a bye and a straight sets win over Mikhail Kukushkin, but was eventually upset by 7th seed Bernard Tomic in 3 sets. At the Australian Open, Nishikori was seeded 7th. He began with victories over Philip Kohlschreiber, Austin Krajicek and Guillermo Garcia Lopez before beating 9th-seeded Jo-Wilfried Tsonga to reach his 3rd Australian Open quarter-final, where he lost to Novak Djokovic. Nishikori next competed at the Memphis Open, where he was seeded 1st and was the 3-time defending champion. Nishikori received a bye into the 2nd round and advanced to the semi-finals without dropping a set. In the semi-finals, Nishikori beat Sam Querrey in 3 sets and later beat young American Taylor Fritz in straight sets to win his 4th straight Memphis title and his 11th ATP title overall. He joined Jimmy Connors as the only 4-time winners of the event. During the March Masters, Nishikori reached the quarter-finals in the Indian Wells Masters for the first time in his career after defeating Mikhail Kukushkin, Steve Johnson in straight sets and saving a match point against 9th-seed John Isner in Nishikori's serve in the 3rd set. He lost to 4th-seed Rafael Nadal in straight sets. Nishikori improved his feed by reaching the quarter-final again in the Miami Open by beating Pierre-Hugues Herbert, Alexander Dolgopolov and Roberto Bautista Agut in straight sets. He then reached the semi-finals of the tournament from the 2nd time in his career after saving 5 match points and beating Gael Monfils in a comeback 3-set match. He then reached his second final in a Masters 1000 after dismantling Nick Kyrgios in straight sets. He lost to world No. 1 Novak Djokovic in the final in straight sets. For the fifth consecutive year, Nishikori did not play in Monte Carlo and instead turned his focus to defending his Barcelona Open Banks Arbidel title. He reached the final without losing a set, but, unfortunately, he lost in straight sets to resurgent nine-time champion Rafael Nadal in the final. He followed his good run by reaching the semi-finals in the Mutua Madrid Open, beating Fabio Fognini, Richard Gasquet for the first time in 7 meetings and rising teenager Nick Kyrgios. He lost in the semi-final to world No. 1 Novak Djokovic in straight sets despite a close second set. Nishikori then replicated his Madrid run by reaching the semi-finals of the Italian Open for the first time after beating Victor Troicki in the opener in 3 sets, followed by wins over Richard Gasquet and Dominic Thiem in straight sets. He lost in the semi-final against world No. 1 Novak Djokovic in a marathon 3 hours 3-setter despite winning the first set 6-2 and managed to pull off a tiebreak in the third set. He later participated at the French Open but unfortunately lost to an in-form Gasquet in the fourth round in 4 sets. Nishikori began his grass season at the Halle Open, but retired in the second round due to a hip injury. His next tournament was at Wimbledon, where he retired in the fourth round against Marin Cilic, once again due to injury. With Murray, Federer and Nadal absent, Nishikori was seeded third for the Rogers Cup Masters in Toronto, after beating Grigor Dimitrov and Stan Wawrinka in the quarterfinals and semi-finals respectively. Nishikori then lost to Djokovic 6-3, 7-5 in the finals, going 0-5 so far in the season against the Serb. Nishikori acquired the bronze medal in the Rio Olympics after he defeated a strained Rafael Nadal 6-2, 6-7, 6-3, becoming the first Japanese man to win a tennis medal in 96 years.